Up and rocking and rolling. Welcome to Nonsensical Nonsense, everybody. I'm Glick, hanging out with Jeff down there
That'd be me.
somewhere. There he is.
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
after some major technological difficulties, because my co-host there lives in a third world country that decides
And
to
God forbid anything work
that decide to
properly.
shut their internet off last night. We get to try this again, hopefully without any interruptions or issues. But
Yeah, go for the full 2 hours this time.
yeah, we shall see. So just for those of you who are listening, you're going to get some bonus content because what we did record was hey Facebook user was some good chit chatting back and forth, and I'd hate to lose it, so I'm just going to throw it up as some bonus content with this
Yeah.
episode this week. So some little
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like the some of the companies down here, they're like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. Nobody's using the internet right now.
well,
Let's go
oh
ahead
yeah,
and shut it down. I'm like, what?
yeah. Why would anybody use the internet at a prime time in the evening? You
Yeah, when
know,
everybody's
like,
home and yeah, that makes total sense.
people are trying to do homework or whatever the case may be, but
Yeah, exactly. It's
you
it's a
know,
weird concept that I think it actually, like, their system crashed, so to speak, and
get a better
that's
system.
well, there's the rub. You get what you pay for. But I mean,
What's up,
my
Mark?
neighbor, he dug his line today. I went out to go get cigarettes at like 7 o'clock this morning, and he's out finishing up. And I'm like, dude, when did you start this? He's like, 5. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell are you doing? Wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, you freak.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
He's like, well, I wanted to get it done before it got too hot. I'm like, yeah, I guess. But he was sweating bullets like he had just gotten out of the pool. I was like, are you sure you started at 5? Because damn, dude, did you go
yeah.
take a dip?
I mean, it wouldn't be too much to ask down there if they didn't have internet that was ran by gerbils on a wheel. That might.
Well, the weirdest thing is, like, the service we use is called Izzy. It's actually a really good service, with the exception when we first got the first month I had it, zero problems. Just
Yeah,
worked flawlessly 24/7. And just like any service, I'm sure there's bugs in Comcast or whatever, but it's also, their installation was free, where the other companies, because of the area I'm in, all the internet and cable and electrical is all underground, which is a new concept. And so everybody else that with the satellite connections,
hmm
they want almost $200 just to install. And I'm like, you're funny. Good luck with that.
yeah, right. The biggest
So
problem with a lot of internet companies, especially up here outside of AT&T, is you share a server. So
right,
peak hours.
it
Especially
slows
like
down.
I live in an apartment complex, so I've got four neighbors in my building, and then not to mention the building next door on either side of me. So yeah, during peak hours, everybody's using their internet. Or if I have
Mm-hmm.
my kids here who think they have to have every uh, damn device known to mankind hooked up to Wi-Fi,
Oh,
it
don't even start with that.
it fucking drains it.
That
Now,
that's I don't know who did it.
yeah, now AT&T. The nice thing about AT&T, the only bad thing is that they're not available everywhere. But the nice thing about AT&T is that you actually have like your own server. I kind of
Right.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world. It was kind of how it
I
was
don't know how it
explained to
works.
me. So you don't have that slowdown when everybody and their brother is home because you have your own line, so to say. So you're the
Right.
only one using that internet or that cable or whatever.
I'm
So
I'm actually curious on what Elon Musk is doing. He's setting up a internet thing where it's like you don't even need installation. You just need to buy this certain small dish that's literally, I think it's about the size of a was it like DirecTV size dish,
oh
and
really?
you mount it to your roof and you got internet.
Well, Elon
and
Musk
I believe it's going to be free.
is an alien, so
Yeah, well,
he's from Mars and he's trying to get back home. So he's probably
but
doing
he's
good technology.
he apparently it's going to be free minus the cost of the dish.
And that's where they're going to get you. The cost of the dish, the damn cost of the dish
Yeah, it's
is
going to be
going to
like
be
$4,000.
yeah, it's going to
I've
it's going to be like,
I've seen one of the dishes. They're not just like a Comcast dish. They are complex and they rotate and they do all this weird shit. But I mean, a one-time fee of like $4,000 for life.
yeah,
I'm in.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know. So, I don't trust
If I had
that.
$4,000 to spare, therein lies the rub. Who's got $4,000 laying around going, I could use internet?
Yeah, I could think of a lot of different things I could use $4,000 on. I'll just deal with my internet that I currently have because it's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, if it got to the point where I couldn't get online ever, then I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I saw something about it. I haven't read too much into it on anything, but I was like, you know what?
I think that's
where they're going to get you.
That's kind of the kicker with you is you just see headlines and then you don't read anything.
I read headlines and I call it a fucking day because I'm like, well, that pretty much sums it up.
Because like you sent
unless it's CNN.
Yeah, you sent me a story the other day about a guy.
that was the only thing I found out about said story too.
Yeah,
it was up on my Facebook feed, and somebody had posted it, and I was like, "That's hilarious! I'm gonna send that to Chris."
Yeah. So you didn't read the whole story, and I was like, "Dude, there's so much more to this story. It's fucking amazing."
Apparently, that Bush story I sent you, where Bush Beer sent that doubled the donation. That guy that put his Venmo on. Apparently, Bush Beer never paid that money.
Oh, really?
Because of something this guy said. Somebody mentioned it in the comments on Nonsensical Nonsense. Apparently, this guy said something, quote unquote, racist like 20 years ago. Which I defy you to find anything that anyone said 20 years ago relevant for today. And they were like, oh, we can't be affiliated with that guy. I'm like, what are you, fucking retarded?
Do not go back on my Facebook timeline. That's all. I mean, I never said anything like super racist, but I've said some fucked up shit that pops up in my memories, and I'm like, ooh, what the hell was I drinking that night?
We even used to say back in high school was like, just goofing off, talking with a buddy. Like, we used to pick on Bob all the time, in good fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't woke. I'm not going to repeat what we said, but it wasn't woke.
It was definitely not okay by today's standards.
We would have been crucified if we'd have done it today. We'd probably been kicked out of school. 100%. We would scream it across the shop.
No. Yeah, I mean, there is stuff that a friend of mine that I used to work with that years ago when I worked at 2 Men in a Truck moving company, that him and I used to say to each other. He was a black guy and I was a white guy, but we was as thick as thieves. Like we were brothers, and we used to say some fucked up shit to each other to the point where like our
somebody comes in mid conversation, goes, "Damn, you guys are fucked up."
Yeah, our bosses would shut their office doors, and HR would be like, "Yeah, we're gonna shut our door. We don't even want to touch.
We don't know this conversation's happening." Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like my dad, my ex-girlfriend's father, used to work with me and my dad, and this story cracks me up. And I used to my uncle owns the company that my grandfather started, which is a plumbing and heating company. It's called Joe Bear Plumbing and Heating. And my dad worked there.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug for the 3 people in Ohio listening. But when I was like 15, 16, I used to ride with my dad, and we rode in a van. It was a Dodge Ram 3500 van, and it was a plumbing truck. And so the back end was all plumbing shit. And before I had met his daughter, the guy that would be my girlfriend's dad sat next to me, and my dad driving. And we're sitting in traffic one day, My dad yells out the window, "Hey, you big fucking, get out of the road!" to this giant black guy, who. My girlfriend's dad at the time, he's rolling up windows and locking doors and shit. He's like, "We're gonna get killed." And this guy walks up and goes, "Hey, guy, man. Hey, Dave, how you doing?" He says hi to my dad like it was nothing. And my dad starts laughing. And when as he's like introducing this guy to my dad, he goes, "This is my pet." Yeah, because that's my dad's. He was a teenager in the 50s, so it's like it was normal. But he was like, "This is my pet N," and the guy starts laughing his ass off. He's like, "Yeah." But nowadays, holy shit, my dad would have started a riot doing the same thing if he did it today.
Oh,
I mean, top of his lungs, "Hey, you big dumb, get out of the road!" And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And I knew what was going on. My girlfriend's dad had no fucking clue, and damn near shit himself. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you definitely can't get away with that today. I mean, joking on, and it is what it is. Times are changing. People,
Yeah.
People got to change with the times. Every generation has that moment. When I grew up, my parents wouldn't hesitate to beat my ass. Now,
oh yeah,
I can't necessarily give my kids the beatings that I got.
That's why you should move to Mexico, because we still do that here.
Well, you guys do a lot of things.
We have zero issue with it.
That we can't do.
We have zero issue. If my kids mess up, they're getting us back. It's not. It's like my wife, when we first found out we were pregnant, she's like, "We're not going to hit." That lasted for about 5 years. As soon as the kid turned 5 years old, he does something dumb. "Come here, I'm gonna give you a spanking." Okay.
Come here, punch you in your mouth, you little fuck.
But every once my wife says, she'll say to the kids, "Go stand on the stairs, face the wall, and put your arms up so you're standing on a T." And I'm like, "This isn't gonna work."
Make them hold buckets of water.
Here. Well, my uncle used to do that to me and my cousins. He would fill half gallon jugs half full of water. Like, "You boys like to work out. Hold these for 20 minutes." And you're like, "Shit."
Yeah, can't do that. I don't want to do it.
And that was the longest 20 minutes of your life.
Absolutely.
However, I still can outlast my cousins, because I have this weird thing in my head where I'm like, if I give up, I'm gonna get my ass beat.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with wall sits. I used to, when I sold tours on the street, we had a little building that you stand out in front of, and the building was so small it was ridiculous. And we'd get bored. There'd be no tourists walk around, and me and the guys would sit there, and we'd make bets on who could do longer wall sit. Where, you put your back on the ground, and your knees and hips are parallel, and the other thing holding you from falling over is the wall. And we'd sit there for the longest time, and I can outlast anybody. I'd make me a good quick $100.
Hell yeah.
I'm going up against 5-6 guys at $20 pop, and of course, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to walk, but I refuse to give up, and especially if there's money on the line. I'm like, "Oh no," because if I lose, my wife gonna beat my ass.
Yeah, about that.
I lost $20 today.
Sorry, baby. I didn't mean to lose the money.
She'd be standing there because her and I worked in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Yeah, he can do it. He'll outlast you." And you do 5-minute sessions for a quick $20, or I think the longest session was 45 minutes, and that was a long 45 minutes.
There's got to be better ways to kill time, I would think.
Well, they do this thing where they toss 5 peso coins, which is about the size of a little bit bigger than a nickel, and you flip them like where you flip a coin kind of thing, but you flip them across and try to land them onto a square that's on the road, on the sidewalk and be like, don't go over the line. If you go over the line, you lose. Whoever's closest to the line wins or some shit like that. But you only win everybody else's coin.
Yeah.
But it's usually just out of boredom. Or the person that loses buys everybody a Coke.
Out of boredom. I'm going to go to work and be bored at work. Speaking of work, I finally, I finally got word today, man. I start my new job Monday. So tomorrow I get to go in and be like, deuces, I'm out.
Live feed that shit.
Yeah, right.
All right, folks, I'm getting ready to go in live, and I'm gonna just put this phone in my pocket. You'll be able to see everything.
Well, I don't think it's gonna be anything exciting because I'm just gonna go in tomorrow morning and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not coming back Monday. So
I can go in the full. What is it? I want to say Dazed and Confused, but it's not Dazed and Confused. What's that? Dave Chappelle movie.
Where the dude's like, fuck you,
fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah. Go in there for no reason, start knocking shit over.
Well, I remember when I quit Wendy's, I went and put I was, in my uniform, and somebody pissed me off. So I walked in and I took my uniform shirt off and I threw it on the top of a bunch of burgers and walked out.
I don't think
walked out shirtless.
I don't think I've ever had an experience where I left someplace that I was that pissed off, or I've actually given every company I've ever worked for 2-week notice.
I usually do.
This one I would have, but the way they blindsided me and whatnot a couple weeks ago really rubbed me the wrong way. And
and to give you no explanation, that's BS.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't feel like they deserve one. So,
well, the odd thing here is they don't do the whole 2 weeks notice thing.
Oh, really?
It's day of. Like, hey, today's my last day. Okay. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I've had instances where I've given my 2 weeks and something's happened where somebody's pissed me off or something. I'm like, you know what? I don't need this fucking shit. I don't have to put up with your dumbass and just walk the fuck out. I've had instances like that. It's like, nah, fuck you. But yeah, have fun. Have fun finding a replacement now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like down here, when a hotel or a job posts an opening, they'll have 200 people show up for one job.
It ain't like that up here, buddy. These companies up right now, companies right now up here are begging people to come to work. I mean, to the point where, like McDonald's down in Florida, for instance, there's
if you last 2 weeks, they give you like $600.
No, there's a chain down there, a family chain down there. They pretty much own all the McDonald's in Florida, but they are paying people $50 just to come in for an interview.
Get the fuck out of that.
Just to come in for an interview.
I saw
everybody has sign-on bonuses.
The rules for unemployment are about to change too.
Well, even now
I saw this on Facebook.
With unemployment, they're putting it in there that if you go get a job and come off the unemployment, they're going to give you a $2,000 bonus.
Yeah. Well, so I was just reading somebody screenshotted the new rules for unemployment, and one of them is that you have to go for 5 interviews a week minimum.
Well, you've always had rules like that with unemployment. You have to put in X amount of job applications. You have to go for X amount of interviews. I've never been on
unemployment.
But the thing that kills me
I've been unemployed, but I've never got unemployment.
Yeah, the thing that kills me is I've worked through this entire thing. Not only have I worked through this entire thing, I've found a new job twice now.
Right.
And I've upgraded every time as far as jobs go, making more money.
That also comes down to you and I are from the same school of unemployment. Who the fuck would do that?
Yeah. Well, I was always brought up that you work hard for what you get. Yeah. But I mean, the thing that kills me is like you're giving these people who have intentionally, purposely not
they
work.
show up with their employment form like ripped in half and crumbled, where you try to keep that thing pristine, and they're like, "Here you go, give me my $50."
Yeah,
and they're like, "Would you do a good job here?" No, fuck, I might not even show up.
But now they're getting, they increase the unemployment up here. I mean, most people on unemployment were making more money than I'm making right now, and I was working 40 or 50, 60 hours a week. And now they're like, oh, if you go get a job, we're going to give you an extra $2,000. Well, why don't you fucking do something
incentivize
for
the people working by giving them a tax break?
A tax break. Send me a fucking check. Hey, we see you've worked this whole time. Here's a little bonus for you, buddy.
Yeah, fuck. That would be a little too smart for the administration that's in right now. That's
unfortunately, I mean,
that's too laterally thinking.
It's like that regardless of who the administration is.
Yeah. Well, the problem
the last administration
with most politicians all comes down to one thing: they've never really had normal jobs.
Yeah, the last administration at least tried to make people work.
Well, and we're succeeding.
Yeah,
immensely. And let's not go down that road, but because I could talk about that for days.
Yeah, it's just.
I told my wife, I said, it's a good thing we don't do politics on this show because holy shit, between the two of us, we could literally tear some shit up. But we get plenty of recognition, but in a negative way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not smart enough to. I'm not smart enough to go and argue.
Well, it also seems like a lot of research, and I don't like doing research, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even a lot of research, to be honest with you. It's a simple fact of being able to tell fact from fiction, because 90% of what these Facebook politicians and Facebook warriors put up is all bullshit, and it takes all of like 10 seconds, and it doesn't matter which side you're on, the left or the right. It's all bullshit that you post all over Facebook and Twitter, and it takes no more than 10 seconds.
What drives
to
me
find
nuts
out.
is I watch this guy, I can't remember his name, Benny Johnson or something. He gets on Facebook and he's got the camera on him and he's like, this person went beet red when you asked a question. Check out this clip. And you watch the clip and you're waiting for that person to turn beat red. It never happens. And you're just like, fuck, dude, you got me all excited for this?
Yeah,
I didn't even understand the question.
Nothing happened. Nobody understands it.
It's almost like clickbait.
Yeah, well, that's all it is.
Which is the biggest crime in the history of the internet is clickbait. That is the worst thing.
Oh, absolutely. But I try not to argue with too many people, just because at the end of the day, they're retarded.
Well, on top of that, you can bitch and moan about something, and bitch and moan about something, and bitch and moan about something, and it's never going to change. My wife tells me all the time, why are you so upset about what's happening 3,000, 4,000 miles away?
Why are you so upset about
something
that's happened in another country?
and my one defense is, well, I am from there. But on the other hand, she's like, and how is it going to affect you? And I went, oh, yeah. Well, maybe one day.
Maybe one day when the statute of limitations are up, I can go back home.
If only that was true. Because if that was true, I'd have been home, 10 years ago?
I'll tell you what, it'd make this podcast and shit a whole hell of a lot easier if you were here.
You ain't kidding. Well,
of course, then I'd have to sit in the same room with your goofy ass twice a week.
Yeah, so. And you have to smell all my smoke.
You act like
buddy of mine, he's got a. Yeah, but I smoke 10 times what you do. Guaranteed.
I've got an air freshener.
We can open a window. Fuck that shit.
I'll have a buddy of mine. He's got candy up in here.
Ooh. He's got a motorcycle shop in Mazatlan, which is opposite side of the country, and he's been begging me. He's like, dude, when I get fully open again. You got to come over here and work. I'm like, dude, you're talking like a 3,000-mile trip. I just bought a house. Where the hell do you think I'm going to go? He's like, no, I'll put you up. You come down for a couple months. And I was telling my wife about it. And she's like, well, you could go if that would make you happy. I'm like, what do you? No, it wouldn't make me happy. Leaving you here with the kids while I go off for a couple months to build something awesome.
No, that would be horrible.
The building something awesome, that would be the only good part. But, at the end of the day, when the end of the day comes each day, I'd be like, I'm going to go sit in my room, rub one out. Or I could be at home watching TV with my wife and kids.
Time to pull up the Staples website.
Yeah. I just told my wife about that.
Oh, my God.
We were planting plants this morning, because today's our day off.
Plants?
Actually, no. We actually had to give that tree back.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What did
he showed up with a receipt.
Did he make a receipt? I bought that tree that was
no. Apparently they bought it, and they went to go put it in their yard, and they were like, oh, I don't want to dig this much. So they dug over by the thing, over by where they put the trash.
I don't want to dig.
And put it there, thinking nobody's going to ever take a palm tree. I'm like, you're in the wrong neighborhood, because I'll take it.
I don't want to dig in my yard because it's too much work, but I'll take it across the road into the woods.
Exactly, which was my thought.
Yeah.
Which was my thought. So
I would have slapped the taste out of his mouth.
Well, it wasn't him. It was his wife.
Wow, pimp slap her too.
She was actually very nice about it. But what made it worse was I pull this thing out. I got a big hole in the ground. So we filled it with dirt, and we were planting plants. And my wife said, I don't know what it is about planting that it just makes me happy. I'm like, well, between you and Chris, you get turned on by plants. Chris gets turned on by Staples store.
Yeah, I got hell last night. Oh, so Staples. I'm like, oh my God, it was a joke. Because we got a vacation coming up here in July, and she was doing some clothes shopping, we'll say. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, do you like this? Do you like that? And I'm like, yeah, I like that. I'm like, I like that. I was like, you could just get a Staples uniform.
Was a red shirt and khakis? Yeah. Come on, babe.
She's like,
think a little.
Like, I fucking hate you.
Now, see,
please excuse me. The new weekly ad just came out. I need about 20 minutes.
You do that for Staples. I do it for Home Depot, because I'm like, I walk into Home Depot. I could literally spend a good 4 or 5 hours in Home Depot, not buy a single thing, just walk around looking at shit.
Well, you know what the sad thing about it is I've never gone into Staples or anything like that, or Office Max until recently. But now when I go up there, I'm like, oh, I could use that desk chair. Oh, I could use that desk. Oh, I could use that whiteboard for the podcast. Like, everything is like, oh, I can do that for the podcast. Like, I can write notes and stuff on the whiteboard, and I can put it up in front of me when I set up a desk, and I can go down. And
hell yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could use that. Oh, that'd be great for the podcast. And now it's like, this is exactly why I can't go to Best Buy. Freak. Yeah, this is exactly why I can't go to Best Buy anymore.
We have a Best Buy here, and I refuse to go into it because
every time I go in there, I buy something.
I go into it, I'll buy something. Yeah, that's why when my wife goes with me to Home Depot, it's a 20-minute trip tops, and that's standing in line to pay for whatever I bought. Because I'll go in and I'm like, I need screws, and screws are like what, $10 for a big bag, and I buy 2 kilo bags, and I go and I need screws. She's like, all right, let's go into Home Depot real quick. And I'm heading towards the tool aisle, and she's like, the screws are over here. I was like, I know. We got to go this way to get there, right?
I need a screwdriver to screw the screws.
Oh, I'm not allowed to buy. Don't get me wrong. But I like to look. I like to think about it, because if I buy tools, I usually buy them on Mercado Libre or Amazon or some shit, because it's usually cheaper.
Yeah. No, I was getting real bad with every time I'd go into Best Buy, I'd buy, like I was saying a while back, I bought a fucking Xbox controller for my phone. Did I need one? No.
I figured out how to hook up my PlayStation controller to my phone, and I was I was ecstatic.
Yeah. So
I got a game that would be amazing on console on my phone, but it's not on console. So I play it on with the controller. It's a drifting game. It's cars. It's car stuff.
Of course, it's cars. It's always cars.
Yeah, which is most of my games that are on my phone.
Yeah. No, so it's just like now Staples. It's like, oh yeah, I can't go anywhere. That's the thing. It's like I'm just gonna stay my ass.
Which is why, like, the beauty of the way my marriage works is if I have money in my pocket, I stay home. And when my wife gets home, I'm like, here, I made this money today. Take this, because if I keep it, I'll be at somewhere, and I'm like, hey, I could use that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she comes home and is like, how much money did you make today?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I got these new screwdrivers and this new circular saw for really cheap.
And I don't like to order shit online. Like, I'm that old guy. I
love ordering.
I don't like ordering stuff online. I don't want to give all my information. The little goblins that live inside my phone and my computer, they're gonna steal all my monies, and they're gonna take my soul.
Well, see, that's the beauty. I don't have money, so I don't have to worry about that.
So it's like, but I just, I ordered something. Tomorrow's Summer's birthday, so I ordered something for her birthday. My God, dude, I had the hardest fucking time trying to complete this purchase, and then I finally got it, and then it was like,
what you ordered.
No, it wasn't that. But then it was like, all right, we'll proceed to checkout. All right, well, I'm gonna go check out. Oh, do you want free shipping? Absolutely, 3 to 5 days free shipping, or you pay $30 shipping for 1 to 2 day delivery. And I'm like, well, it's not gonna get it for a week regardless, because it's a custom made, personalized thing.
Right.
Hopefully, she's not listening to this right now.
Check the Facebook feed.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's at a graduation, but it was like,
I wonder why nobody was complaining about Haps.
Yeah, I was like, well, it takes 5 days for him to make this thing anyway, so regardless, it's going to still be, anywhere between
a week and a half,
5 to 10 days before she gets it, whether I pay for $30. And then when I got to checkout, it would only let me do the I don't know, what is it called, expedited shipping, and charge me an additional $30. I was like, you sons of bitches,
assholes.
And there was other sites that had it, but it was more expensive on other sites, and they didn't offer free shipping, and their shipping was more expensive.
Right.
So I was like, this is why I don't fucking order shit online.
Well, everything I order, when I order stuff, I make sure it says free shipping. Like when I ordered my
this said free shipping.
Press, it says free shipping on the bottom.
Yeah.
And because I know if I actually had to pay for shipping on that drill press, it would have cost me a fucking fortune, because that thing weighs a good 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
this
a fence
thing said free shipping, but then when you clicked on it and you go to pay, it was like, oh, nah, just kidding. But I'm also the same person that, like a jackass, spent almost $400 on fucking Wish because I didn't know what I was doing. So, I'm an idiot. It is what it is.
Yeah. No, my wife says if I like to play this game. If you received $1 billion tomorrow, what's the first thing you'd buy? And this is how I put myself to sleep.
Meth.
I said, no. My wife was like,
hookers.
Oh, I'd travel, I'd do this, I'd do this, and I'm like, you know what? I would spend like the next week on Amazon just ordering shit.
Yeah,
I know I would, and Facebook Marketplace.
I think the first thing I would do
is it just me? Is it just me, or do you scroll Facebook Marketplace and go, wow, that's a good deal?
No.
I do. Oh, my God. I'm a freak.
No,
I look at cars that I'll never be able to afford because I already have two. And my wife's like, what are you looking at cars for? I'm like, well, they're only wanting $1,500 for this Honda. That's not a bad price. She's like, why?
Did she tell you to get one of the two that you... Did she tell you to get one of the two you have running first?
Yeah, she's like, why don't you fix the cars we got running first? I'm like, well, maybe one day.
I think if I was given
money.
First thing I would do if I was given $1 billion is make sure I was 100% no debt whatsoever. No, well, I would get the money, but the first purchase would be to make sure I had zero debt, like no debt whatsoever. and then I would have fun.
Well, that's the one good thing that my wife and I have going for us. We have no debt except for the house,
Mm.
and 35 grand is not that much debt. So
No,
yeah,
that's not bad.
I think we owe like 28, 29, something like that still,
Mm-hmm.
which is not bad.
Yeah,
In the year we lived here.
yeah. I think really the only debt I have, in all honesty, is just my car payment. Um, I worked
See, that's
I
why I buy
worked
used.
pretty hard when I was living down in Charleston to clear a lot of debt and stuff like that, to fix a lot of things. So yeah, I think right now the only thing
But
I'm sitting with is my car payment, which is
now,
fine.
see, are you a credit card person or
No,
not?
absolutely
I,
not.
I a long time ago, somebody told me something that made exact sense. I used to have, I don't know if you ever saw my Dodge Neon. I had this 97 Dodge Neon, and every time I'd get a little bit of money, I'd throw something at it. Neon lights, rims,
Mm.
whatever. And the guy, I used to go to the same shop all the time, and the guy said, if you had a credit card, I'd be a rich man. I'd be like, yeah, but I'd be broke.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, yes, but I'd be a rich man. I'm like, yeah. I said, that's why I don't have a credit card, because I would have the coolest car in town, no doubt,
Mm-hmm.
but I would be flat broke for the next 50 years.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, fucking broke.
And
No, see, that was
that's
the
the one
problem.
thing that I've never even thought about getting a credit card. I've gotten
Yeah,
offers all the time.
yeah. When I was about 18 or 19, it was shortly after we got out of high school. I had gotten a
Mhm.
couple credit cards, and I was a dumbass, and I was like, "Oh, I got free money," and so I fucking
Exactly.
I maxed them out, and at that time, I wasn't too
Thinking,
concerned about being an adult and being responsible or worrying
yeah,
about. So I mean, I had two credit cards that were maxed out, and I'm like, "Oh well, I guess I can't use these anymore." Oh well.
I'll get
And
another one.
yeah, then a year or so, like a year or so later, it bit me in the ass. And then
Yeah,
once I paid them off. Fortunately, they weren't big credit cards because I was so young.
right.
So
It's
they
like
didn't
two
have
grand or something like that.
yeah, it didn't have a huge limit on it. So I paid them off, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm done with credit cards. I'm not going to go down that road again. Now,
Yeah,
on the other hand, Summer has 39 credit cards. No,
yeah,
she doesn't have that many, but she does have a lot. But she's also really good about it. So I mean,
yeah.
she can handle her credit cards. I don't want anything to do with them.
I
Would
don't
it be
either.
nice to have them
I have a
to
debit
help?
card, and that's it.
Yeah, to help with my credit score. Yeah, but my credit
Oh
score is
yeah.
in pretty good shape without them. So I mean,
Well, actually, there's a store here that helps me with my credit. It's called Copel. It's like a layaway company,
yeah,
and
you're talking about
you you buy something, and they put it in the back, and actually you take it home, but you pay it on their credit card,
yeah.
and you make payments every week or whatever, but you get it that day. It's
That's
basically
kind
a
of
credit
like
card setup, and it helps build your credit. My problem is I'll buy it one day and then pay it off the next.
yeah,
and,
that's kind of
and
like
they're
up
like,
here
that's
with
not helping your credit score. I'm like, I don't care.
yeah.
I don't want to have to be in debt.
Yeah, no, that's kind of like up here with like Aaron's and Rent a Center. You
Right.
go into those stores and you essentially finance a living room
It's like
set or a
store
bedroom
credit.
set. Yeah, and then you just once a week, once a month, however you have it set up, or you make your payment, and it does boost your
Hmm.
credit score. But at the same time, the moment you're late,
Oh
they
yeah,
fucking
they
crush you.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I bought a amplifier and some clothes, and that was it. And I was like, yeah, I'm done.
yeah,
I don't want it anymore. And once I paid it off, I cut up the credit card because I know because I go into that store all the time to look,
yeah,
and because I don't know what it is. I love to window shop, but I go in there and I'm like, ooh, and my wife's like, no.
no. Well,
One of the things
that's
I want
it.
to buy that they have there is one of those mobile basketball hoops that you put the
Yeah.
water in and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and they only want like 150 bucks. And every time I see it, I'm like, honey, look. And she's like, no. I'm like, but the kid's not gonna play basketball. She's like, no.
No, you won't. Yeah, no, it's like
Oh, we
Summer.
would. I know we would.
Summer added me onto one of her credit cards and sent me a card up here. And in all honesty, um, I forget about it most of the time.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's in my wallet, and it's very rarely that I even remember that it's there, and it's just like, oh, so I could do
The
this.
one good thing about the debit card that my wife and I, it's from a place here. It's called Banco Azteca. It's literally a Mexican bank. It's has no affiliation anywhere else. But what's really cool about it is it has an app where, like, if my wife's at work and I'm like, hey, I need $20 to get a few things for the house, like cleaning supplies or milk or whatever, she can literally transfer me, $20, $15, whatever, in a matter of seconds, and then I can just go pay for it with a card.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, but the only
have
time
to wait till she got home.
Yeah, but the only time I've ever really used that card is like a lot of times I've got an older debit card that because I'm stubborn and I just refuse to go order a new one.
Right.
The chip don't read
taped
sometimes.
Together.
It's not that bad, but the chip won't read sometimes, mainly at gas stations. It's about the only time I use the actual credit card.
Which would be the only reason for me to have a credit card was to be a gas station.
Yeah.
I would use it for gas, and that was it.
Other than that, I think the only other times I've used it is like when Summer's been up here and she don't feel like taking her purse into the store or something.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, oh, well, just use the card. And I'm like, well, my card?
Yeah.
She's like, no, the credit card. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that. What's the credit card again?
I would be dangerous if I had a Visa card or something like that.
Yeah.
It would be because I know myself, and like I said, I love to window shop, especially at Home Depot. If I had a credit card, I'd have every tool I needed.
Man, it was so cool.
It'd take me 50 years to pay for it.
But when I worked at Home Depot, it was so cool when I worked there because you get to see all the tools and play with the stuff all day long. I was like, I don't need it,
but I want
it. Nah, I work here, so I can play with it all day long.
Have you? What's your opinion on those Ryobi tools?
I kind of like them, man.
I do too. I love them. People make fun of you. Like, I have a Ryobi sander, and I was using it on my YouTube channel, and somebody's making fun of you. Oh, you bought a Ryobi. I'm like, hey, fuck you. It works.
The people who make fun of the Ryobis have never used one. Now, when I worked at Home Depot, I think I have a Ryobi set. Actually, to be honest with you, it's an older set. I've had it for probably almost 10 years now, but it was a complete set. Circular saw drill, flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
Something else with it. I can't remember what it is. And I love it. But when I worked at Home Depot, I actually had contractors come in that were like, oh, they'd have this fucking DeWalt that was 20 years old. And they're like, I need a battery for this. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that, buddy. And it's like, and then I would just say, be like, well, why don't you replace that DeWalt with the Ryobi? I ain't fucking using that piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't get it. I saw a dude's video the other day. His van. He opens up his van. He's got one of those. It's like a with a shell top on it, so you can literally stand up in it. Huge van. It's a Mercedes Crafter, and everything in there is black and yellow. It's all DeWalt, wall to wall, floor to ceiling, and I was like, that van's got to be worth $100,000 right there.
Yeah.
In tools alone, because DeWalt's not cheap. It's a great,
absolutely,
great company. They're great tools.
Yeah,
but if I could buy a Ryobi for half the price,
Ryobi
it is.
And Ryobi was one of the first ones that came out with the lithium batteries, which are fantastic. Yeah, I would sell a contractor a drill to replace his DeWalt, and he'd come back in the next week later and he'd be like, "Oh man, this thing's nice." More. And he's like, I want to get the whole set. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go. Let's get the whole fucking
rock it out.
Yeah. But I mean, they're good. But a lot of the guys, much like with cars, the ones who shit on something the most have never used it or never had one. So, like guys who will sit around and shit on a Ford, and all they've ever owned has been a Dodge, and it's like,
Yeah.
Have you ever driven a Ford? Do you know anything about a Ford? They're like, it don't matter. They're shit. Found on the road
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah. Fix and repair daily. Give me a break.
Yeah. It's like, well,
but see, that's where I kind of. I shit on Black and Decker.
fuck Black
I
and
think
Decker.
Black and Decker is for somebody that's going to use it like 4 times.
Therefore, the small home projects, the DIY.
You know, I need to put up a picture, but I need to drill.
Yeah,
Buy a
that's
Black
for that's for the guy who or lady, whatever, who works in an office 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and does small.
And on their weekend,
projects.
they're going to build a shelf.
Yeah, I do not like Black and Decker. I've had some Black and Decker tools. I don't like them. Never will.
However,
And
my
nobody
Black and
will convince me
Decker,
otherwise.
hammer drill, that thing won't quit. It will not quit. I can't kill it because I'm not allowed to get a new one until it dies. And I've been trying to kill it, and it won't die.
Black and Decker can make some good vacuums, but that's because they suck.
Yeah, well, Black and Decker came out with first shop vac too, and that thing, those people still buy those.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great. They're great shop vacs or vacuum cleaners or this, that, and the other thing. But as far as power tools go, absolutely not.
I wouldn't. I would be hard pressed to actually go out and buy another Black and Decker unless it was like an emergency.
I don't think there's ever that bad of an emergency where you have to go out and buy a Black and Decker.
But see, I feel the same way about Makita. The only Makita I use I love their routers and
Makita makes
their
some
sanders.
Fucking drills, Bubba. They make some goddamn drills, Bubba. I had a couple concrete drills when I used to work concrete. Motherfucker, those boys did not play around.
I hated their cordless drill. I used their cordless. They had a cordless drill where the battery was like 8 inches long, and you'd slide it in like it was a clip. Yeah. That was the best part about it, because you'd be like, "I'm ready." Yeah. But other than that, I was not impressed. My dad, he's a Milwaukee guy, and his Milwaukee cordless drill, that thing you couldn't kill either. Well, the problem with Milwaukee is the same problem with DeWalt. They're expensive as shit.
Yeah, a little bit.
My kid and wife, for my birthday, like 4 or 5 years ago, bought me a Milwaukee tape measure, and it was $25. And I'm like, you know what? You could have spent like $5 getting a cheaper one, because, I go through these like nothing. I don't know what it is about me and tape measures. They constantly break on me. But the problem with that tape measure is the same thing that happens with every one of my tape measures. My kids play with it and break it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it wasn't your kids. I don't know, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it was, I don't know who did it. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't me.
It was a nice tape measure, but I didn't see. I was like, "You spent how much on this?" I said, "I can buy one 3 times the size of it for the same price of another brand." I miss the old Stanley tape measures like we had in school. Those things were awesome.
Yeah. I could never seem to keep track of a tape measure. I lose them constantly.
I'm like that with pencils and my squares.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about a square. You use a square pencils. Once, you set it down, you pick up your work and go to put it together, and then you're like, where the fuck is my square?
You know who has some fine pencils and some fine squares?
Staples.
Yes, sir.
So, little I got a little story here for you.
Fucking spit it out, Jesus Christ! Now that we just did an episode of Tool Time.
Yeah, I know, right? A little tool time action there. So here's the title. This is from mirror.com.uk. Weird news. Twin refuses to be best man for his identical brother because his... Oh, shit.
I heard about this.
It says because he's marrying his ex.
He's marrying he's marrying
Which means
his high school ex girlfriend. The only reason that him and his girlfriend broke up was because he went to college. Like he moved out of state or whatever, and went to college.
his twin brother stayed home, going, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm Bob."
Yeah, his twin
I
brother
actually did
stayed
go to
home,
college.
and they literally started dating like 6 months after his brother went to school.
What an asshole!
And they didn't tell him about it for the longest time, and then they finally told him. And that was his first impression was it's not fucking cool, you know.
That's fucked up.
At the same time, you know, if they're identical twin brothers, if I was the brother who started dating the ex-girlfriend, like as soon as my brother went to college, I would feel like a huge piece of shit because it'd be like, is she really into me, or is it because
is it because I look like my brother?
I look just like that idiot. Well, the one that went to college. I'm apparently the idiot who did not go to college or stayed home and went to community college. Which there's nothing wrong with community college. Anybody who goes to community college, just say.
Well, I never went to college at all. But at the end of the day, the one that stayed home is kind of apparently the smart one because he's tapping away.
He got the girl. But yeah, I mean it's. But I kind of agree with the brother who was like, "Fuck you, man! No."
Yeah,
like,
that is a dick move.
We had a good thing, and the only reason we broke up was because I had to go out of state to go to college, and then you came in like 6 months later and started dating my girl. Like, what the fuck, bro?
That's a dick move, man. This stupid phone. Every time I go to look at it, I'm trying to read the story, see if there's a picture.
So yeah, I don't know if they were identical twins or not, but I heard about that the other day.
It says identical,
and I was just like, "Oh, what?
That is an asshole move,
rat bastard, man!" Like I've never been one to date just a friend's ex-girlfriend. Not
yeah,
that
I mean, like
after,
I would,
like,
I would like if you and Summer broke up and I was single, I'd be like, who said? I forget who said it, but there's a movie. By Kevin Smith. Well, it's Broco, but when, like, for instance, Summer's a dude to me. She's just a dude.
I'm sure she would be.
I see her as the same sex as me because she's your woman.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to.
I don't see her.
That.
Yeah. I don't see her in remotely that way. You know, I see her from the neck up, and I'm like, yep, that's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll get a kick out of that. She's definitely Stevie to me.
Steve.
What the hell? This phone is like.
Yeah, she was telling me today that you sent her the Star Wars thing. I was like, I know he sent it to me, and I told him no, and then he's like, I'm going to send it to Summer, and I was like, she's going to tell you the same shit.
I still say that would be hilarious.
You know, I'm gonna start a.
But you go in Spock ears. You and Spock ears.
Go in a Star Trek uniform with everybody else.
Yeah. Star Wars. she's as Darth Vader. Yeah. I did see a funny meme. Speaking of,
there she is. Now you are in trouble.
Yeah, Stevie's here.
He called you a dude. He said you were a dude.
In my eyes, because you're dating Chris, you are basically a dude to me. As in, you and me, never going to happen.
No, I told her, I said, I'm going to start doing a segment on here that I explain nerd movies, and I'm going to do like Star Wars and do
mixed with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I was going to do the plot of like Lord of the Rings for Star Wars.
Well, oddly enough, Harry Potter and Star Wars are basically the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
An orphan kid.
I think my kids.
An orphan kid is told that he's special. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. When you really start to look at it, you're like, holy shit, I'll be damned.
How pretty girl. Welcome. How was your graduation? She said, the fuck, bro.
I'm not saying it to be mean, but as we were saying, and it I always sound like a dick when I say it this way, but since when your friend is dating a woman that woman is literally 100%, a million percent off limits.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I might shake your hand. And it's
Go
not
ahead.
because I don't like you. It's not because I think you're a bitch or whatever. Not that I do, but that's your woman. It's
Yeah.
just like I would expect you to do the same thing to my wife. Like, there's no hugs. There's no hugs. It's high five. High five. That's it.
It's a bro hug.
Yeah. We might bump elbows, like they
Yeah.
do for the COVID thing. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
No, well, I don't know if you caught the beginning of that. It was a news article where a guy's twin brother is marrying his high school ex-girlfriend that they broke up. The only reason they broke up was because he went to college. He moved away and went to college, and then like 6 months later,
She
his twin
starts
brother
dating his
started dating her,
identical twin
and
brother.
now they're getting and now they're getting married, and he refused to be the best man at the wedding. So
Yeah.
no, you're gonna get punched in the throat.
Well,
She said, "I might
happens.
punch you in the throat."
Shit happens. Well, you'd have to have long arms because I am a good 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, don't worry about it. My other friends find her attractive,
and that's fine. I find you attractive as well, but not in the same way as if I saw you walking down the street and you were single and I was single.
Yeah, when she calls into other podcasts, they will hit on her and tell her how hot she is for 20 minutes.
My wife just gave me a look from downstairs because I'm sitting there talking about it. I'll explain it. She's like, what are you talking about attractive?
I'll explain later.
But that's the concept. If a dude is dating a chick, to his friends, that chick is now basically a dude, regardless of what she looks like.
Well, I mean, I don't know about a dude.
Well,
but I mean,
as in she is 100% off limits. You can't even put her in a spank bank.
Yeah, you're not like trying to hit on her or
Exactly.
anything else.
And it would be even much worse if it was a brother or sibling.
I think I would kill him. I think I would kill him. In all honesty, if I had a brother, well, I do kind of have a brother, my broster, but my broster seems to think that any girl that I talk to or I date, they want him anyways. So,
yeah,
no,
I have a friend like that.
No, they don't.
I have a friend like that.
A guy with boobs.
I have a friend like that.
Summer said a guy with boobs. I think it's a dude with boobs.
I have a friend that he looks like Paul Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Is basically how you put it. Like Paul Walker at his best. And I refuse to go out in public with this dude because I look like a hideous chud. So I'm like, no, I'm not going. I'm good. Well, which is why he and I don't hang out.
my broster, not to be mean and sound like a horrible brother or an asshole, but my broster is like a shorter, methed out version of me.
Nice. So I'm getting a picture in my head, and I'm like, wow.
Minus the beard.
Imagine what Chris says about me when I'm not listening. Jesus Christ. He's this goofy little fucker that follows me around like a puppy.
Like crackhead. Goddamn crackhead. I post pictures of him. If you guys see him, let me know.
Run away.
He kind of looks like he looks like Freddie Mercury had he not died of AIDS, and the AIDS just ate him away.
No, but I mean, that's in all seriousness, that should be the way.
What's going on, Kev?
100% bro code.
Well, and that's the thing. Oh shit! Unless I start, there it is. Opposite of you don't want to know Freddie. Who don't want to know Freddie?
That probably everybody.
Yeah.
However, a one-night stand 2 weeks later is open market.
Oh yeah, anybody you're in a serious relationship, With
Serious relationship, that is 100% off limits.
yeah.
But I'm talking like a 2-day thing. Oh yeah, that's free market.
It sounds like you've been there before.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit I've been there. They down here they call it Milk Brothers, and I heard that term and I went, wait, what?
I think we call it Eskimo Brothers up here.
Well, I had a boss. I used to date a slightly older woman, and after her and I broke up, I was married and dating my wife and married to my. I think I was married to my wife at the time, and my boss we're in his truck going to a location. He says, so I understand we're Milk Brothers, and I'm like, wait, what? He's like, well, you used to date such and such, and I used to fuck such and such, and I'm like, really? Gross. Because if you saw a picture of him and me, I'm Brad Pitt next to this guy.
Man, that guy must have been rough because I don't think anybody's calling you Brad Pitt.
Nobody is, but this guy is like easily 60 pounds overweight, goofy looking,
considering
cross-eyed.
Considering
I was like, how drunk was she?
Yeah, considering you will forever be known as Freddie Mercury now.
Yeah,
which by the way, completely ruined Bohemian Rhapsody for me as I was trying to watch that movie a couple weeks back.
I still haven't seen it. All I
could see was your goofy ass. And I'm like,
which means I could be a celebrity. I could be an actor tomorrow.
Yeah, it was just like at any moment
remake that movie.
Yeah. At any moment he's gonna start talking about cars and I'm gonna throw a brick through my TV. It was a good movie though. I mean, I will say that much. What I seen of it, it was a pretty good movie. But I wound up not watching it all. I'm just not the biggest Queen fan. I like their music. I like some of their music.
I could name maybe 2 songs. I could really name maybe 2 songs. And Bohemian Rhapsody being one of the most famous songs on the history of the planet. I couldn't name another one.
Well, they got that, and We Will Rock You.
Oh, Bicycle. I know Bicycle.
You know what? I don't think I can name any of their songs either. I know I'm about to get in trouble because Summer loves Queen. So I'm about to get yelled at.
Well, it all comes down to Queen for me was just kind of there in the background.
Yeah.
Like I love some Aerosmith. I love some AC/DC. A few Metallica songs. I'm not a huge Metallica fan. I
cannot stand Metallica.
I was when I was younger. Anymore, I'm like, what the whole them pissing at Napster really turned me off. I was like,
they're the Wish version of Megadeth in my opinion.
Now I do love Pantera.
What?
Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Best song ever.
Yeah, well, you were from that part of Ohio where everybody thought it was cool to like Pantera and Slayer, and they're a horrible band.
I don't have it.
They're both.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
We're trying to do a podcast, woman.
No, that was my son. No, it comes down to I couldn't name another Pantera song, but I still have Cowboys from Hell on my phone.
I'm getting yelled at.
Uh-oh.
What, Mark? Why are you mad at me? What did I do? Summer's ashamed of me because I can't name but like 2 or 3 Queen songs. But Kiss is the same way.
Yeah, like, I'm not a big Kiss guy.
I only like a few.
Gene Simmons, though. I love Gene Simmons. Have you ever seen the Gene Simmons show?
Yeah, he's a jackass.
That motherfucker is hilarious.
Like I like a few Kiss songs. One of my favorite songs by Kiss is Beth. I love that fucking song.
Oh,
and
I love that.
I'll tell you what, I seen them in concert when they did their Psycho Circus tour. I think
nice
98, 99, something like that at the amphitheater there in Polaris. And and oh my god, it was a badass show. Like they can put on a show, man. But
well, you know who puts on a really good show? Korn.
Yeah, they're all right.
I was never a huge fan, but a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, you want to go to a Korn concert?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "I guess." And opening was Papa Roach. Talk about dating it. Yeah. And Power Man 5000.
Well, you want to talk about dating it, which was probably around the same time period, I seen Queen or not Queen, Queen. I
Queen on the
seen
Brain.
Corn was Stained and Limp Bizkit and a bunch of other bands at the Family
Family
Values
Values tour.
Yeah,
I was there. We were probably at the same place.
yeah, he did put on a good show.
I love Stained. That song he did with Fred Durst, that Outside. Holy shit, love that song.
Well, I mean, I used to like Sting, but then they were at that Family Values tour, and literally the whole time that Aaron Lewis was on stage singing, and now it makes more sense now that he's come out and talked about things. Every song, he stood there with his head down like this, just stood there, and just kind of half-ass sang his way through every song, and it was like, this is fucking horrible. But
and what was the explanation from it?
Well, it was back then. He never wanted to go into rock. He wanted to be a country singer. So
that's hilarious.
Which he's got a couple fantastic country albums out. But when he signed his record deal, basically the label made him change his whole personality, his genre. Whole, change everything about who he was to fit what they were going for. And he was miserable. I mean, he was absolutely miserable.
I don't doubt it.
So now that he's broke free and he's put out a
well, that's not bad. Well,
I'd like to see him again. But
I did not know that about him. But apparently, country music singers make 10 times the money as anybody else.
I believe it.
I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that.
But a lot of the big names also write their own music, or are in the writing process. They might have a couple writers, but they're in the process. With writing their songs and stuff like that.
But yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it because. Ghostwriting is apparently a really big business too.
Well, people like Beyonce and shit like that, they don't write. Lady Gaga. Well, Lady Gaga does write some of her own music, but I don't think Beyonce's ever written a fucking song in her life. Yeah. It's usually it's funny when you find out that.
Are you on the same thread as me when it comes to Lady Gaga? I find that bitch so hot.
She does have a weird sexiness about her.
Right. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, really?
I absolutely love her.
Like, yeah.
I absolutely love her voice when she sings. But
can't listen to her talk. I can't listen to her talk.
Yeah.
But she can sing all day long.
But yeah, it's weird because you hear names of people that write like Beyonce songs or whatever, and it's guys like Bruno Mars. Yeah, it's like Bruno Mars and Jason Derulo and Ed Sheeran and stuff like that.
What's that guy's name? He wrote. He did the music for Despicable Me. Pharrell.
Oh,
a lot of her shit.
He writes a lot of songs for
that dude. Apparently, he writes songs. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy had more money than all of them put together.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He writes songs for everybody. So I mean, he is no joke. Not to mention he's had his own singing career, his own career,
which is impressive. I think if I was going to be a singer, it would definitely have to be a country singer. Not because of the money thing, it's because I can't hold a note. I'd be like the Trace Adkins or Toby Keith kind of thing.
Or
I love me some Toby Keith.
Hank Williams Sr. back in the 50s for Johnny Cash.
I could totally rock out as Johnny Cash. I could totally do it.
I love Johnny Cash. God love Johnny Cash, but man, that man could not. He could sing, but
he could, but he mostly talked his way through it.
Yeah,
it's like Elvis and acting. Like Elvis, he can't act. Well, we'll just have him sing all his lines. Like, Elvis, we got to win this race. We got to win this race.
Yeah, exactly.
Chappelle said that. He's like, Elvis, the man couldn't act. My sister She passed away 4 or 5 years ago, or almost 10 years ago, and that woman loved her some Elvis. She had all his movies, albums, everything, and I'm like, really, really, Elvis? All
I mean,
right.
I like Elvis. I like. I
I do
don't
too, but
care.
it's
I
not
don't.
like he might be on. He's not even on any of my playlists.
Oh, I have him
But
on my playlist. I love his music. I've never seen an Elvis movie, and I'm okay never seeing one. But
the only
I
one I
love his
really
music.
like is Follow That Dream. That movie, I love that movie. It's a
Yeah.
stupid movie, completely retarded, but it's hilarious. But
But,
the thing is with Elvis, it was all you know. It's a kind of a weird concept watching an Elvis movie because it's hard to watch because
mm,
Elvis couldn't act. But on top of that, it's you know Elvis in a Hawaiian shirt standing on stage with a guitar that somebody shoved in his hand. And he's like, "I've never played before," and then he
mm,
sings one of his songs, and you're like,
yeah.
"Yeah, you've never played before."
I've
Okay.
never played before. I don't even know how to bow.
You're like, "What the fuck, dude?" Oh yeah, I'm just an idiot savant.
Yeah.
But speaking of playing, uh, I have a friend that he learned guitar and now you could play him any bit of music that he's never heard, and then 2 seconds later be able to play the exact same song.
Yeah.
And
My
that shit pisses me off to no end
my yeah. My
because
well
I can't do it.
my ex-wife, her dad was like that. He was self-taught, and he played
Right.
drums, banjo, guitar, bass. Basically, if you put an instrument in front of him, he could play it. And he sang a lot of bluegrass and stuff like that. But and he had record deals and stuff like and whatnot. But the man could not read a lick of music. Just like he couldn't
Yeah.
read a single note to save his life. It was
Right. But he can play
ridiculous.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could play damn near any song just by hearing it one
And
time.
I'm admired by
Just
people.
took a
I
dick pic.
admire
I
people
did
like
not
that.
take a dick pic. Mark in the chat, a buddy of mine, he was like, he totally
Totally
just took a dick pic.
I admire people like that, but at the same time, they piss me off to no end because I can't do
Yeah.
it. I bought a guitar like 10, 15 years ago,
Mhm.
and I learned one song. And my wife bought a guitar about 6 years ago, and I can't play that song again. I would have to like relearn how to play the one song. And
Yeah, I've got a guitar and I've picked it up twice.
looks good hanging on the wall though.
Yeah, right. Oh, you play? Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, play
I
us a
play with
song.
myself while I stare at the guitar.
Yeah, play us a song. Oh well, I got this
Well,
arthritis in my hands,
yeah,
and
can't do it. Yeah.
oh man, I just broke my finger. I can't.
Grabbing your hand and breaking your finger. Can't do it. Look at that. Oh,
Oh shit.
no. Oh, damn.
How
I was
did that
going to
happen?
blow it up for you guys. You know, we
Yeah.
were gone live and everything.
Yeah,
I had a buddy that, in high school at Clear Fork. He was the same way with drums. The man could bang on some drums like you read about, and he was infamous about it. He'd go to he was in the school band, but it was a jazz band,
Mhm.
and they would play really good songs, and so he'd have a full drum set in front of him, not just like a one drum,
Yeah.
and they would always give him a solo, and his solo would be him fighting with the drums, like acting like he's drop kicking the drum set, but he's hitting the note, and it literally looked like he was fighting with the drum set while
And
playing
he's
his
in a
solo,
jazz-
and it was
he's in a
it was
jazz band,
amazing.
and he looks like he's the drummer from Guar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, he was always he was voted class clown,
Yeah.
but the dude was amazing, and I would every morning freshman year, I rode a bus into school, and I'd be a good 25, 30 minutes early, and he would be there practicing with jazz band. They would get there an hour early and practice. So the last 15, 20 minutes, I'd get off the bus, go right into the jazz band room, and just sit there and hang out and watch him and a couple other friends play one of my friends used to play the saxophone, and it used to blow my mind. And the music teacher all the time was like, you could join. I'm like, I couldn't play one note.
Yeah,
He's like, it's never too late to start. I'm like, you want to bet?
I could, but I won't.
Yeah.
I could do a lot
I'm a
of
cheerleader, dude. You really want to get my ass kicked here? Let's really play this game of living it up on how fast we can get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I'm already a cheerleader. I don't need to be in jazz band. I already have enough issues as it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it always blows my mind that people can just pick up an instrument. I've never been. I have another friend. You can say, hey, that song by Queen, and he'd be like, oh yeah, this song was written by this guy, and it was published on this guy, and it was written on this date, and he'll give you the background of that song. I've never been interested in anything that much.
Exactly. Well, it's one of those things.
I'm a car nut, but I can't tell you when Ford first developed the Mustang.
Yeah.
Well,
calm down.
The Mustang is one thing, but yeah, I mean, this guy he'd be like, oh, Led Zeppelin 1965, they did this album, and and this happened. The only story I know to be somewhat factual is the song Smoke on the Water, because the story is told in the fucking song.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And you're like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you, like you were saying, Beyonce didn't write for herself. I didn't know that. I assumed it, but I couldn't relate that to someone else. I'd be like, I guess, whatever. Because I like music, but I don't. I'm a bass head. You give me a car, I'll end up throwing a stereo system in it because I love bass. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just reading Summer's comment, and she said it got violated by community standards on Facebook. So now she's gonna. No, she did, not us.
Oh.
So now,
I was gonna say, shit. What do we do?
Hashtag kill Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, fucking nerd.
Yeah, you bastard.
It's wedgie time.
No, it's. I've never been that passionate about music. I might throw something on in the background while I'm cleaning up or something, or when I'm building something, but I'm not. I don't understand the people that are so engulfed in something that doesn't affect them whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so about the throat.
They live in the mood. They live in high fidelity.
Right. I'm a bit of I am a bit of a music
nerd.
Yeah, to say the least. But I'm not gonna know all that stuff. So apparently, whatever she said was something about grabbing the throat and then hitting it. Oh,
yeah. Talking about punching me in the throat.
That got flagged. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Man,
fuck you, Zuckerberg. That's fine. It was all in good fun. Yeah, bastard.
Zucking nerd. It's gonna be swirly time for old Marky boy.
Yeah. Speaking of Alter Rich, go ahead.
I was gonna say something about the throat or the neck region. We were talking earlier about that story that you sent me when we were talking about you don't know you don't read anything but the fucking headlines. You're like, oh, this is hilarious. What's it about?
Well, like I said, it was basically a meme that I found on my feed, and do you have it? Because I don't.
I do actually have it, and the guy looks like that dude from Star Trek. What was his name?
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, didn't he capture Frodo and make him wear a bikini?
Yeah. And all the nerds just fucking heads exploded.
Yeah. Guys still jerk off to Frodo in the bikini, right?
Go ahead and read that out for the listeners, because...
So, the headline that you sent me and that you just couldn't take the time to read, the rest of the story was
just a meme. It's a photo, not even an article.
It doesn't take much to look
in my defense. In my defense, it was a photo.
The headline says, "Man breaks into Burger King and drinks gallons with an S.
As in, wasn't it 20, 24 or something like that?
Gallons of deep frying oil."
Jesus.
Well, and this only happens in one place, ladies and gentlemen, and that
Florida.
would be a Florida man found an extreme way to cheat on his diet. He broke into a closed fast food restaurant.
How is that cheating on your diet?
I'll get to the diet.
If you're drinking multiple gallons, that's not a diet. That's a lifestyle.
No. I'll get to his diet.
Go ahead. Sorry.
He broke into a fast food restaurant and drank more than 25 gallons of used oil from the deep fryer. So essentially, he just like laid on his back,
up the bottom,
slithered over, and just
like Slurpee style.
Yeah,
Slurpee
like Homer
style.
Simpson. Yeah.
No, it's the Pauly Shore and fucking Encino Man.
Oh, yeah.
We the juice. He's sitting underneath us like, we the juice.
Yeah, no. Miami Police Department received a call of a break-in at Burger King around 2 a.m. Some officers were on site in a matter of minutes. Upon arriving at the restaurant, they found 510-pound Romeo Carter chugging down oil directly from the deep fryers.
How the fuck did he get in?
He's 41 years old. He's 510 pounds. He drank over 25 gallons of oil. I don't care how he got in. I don't care what he...
It's not like he snuck in through the drive-through window.
No. My first question was, how the fuck is this man still alive?
Right?
Because
I can hear his arteries hardening from here. Mm-hmm.
So they arrested him on site, accused of burglary, trespass, theft by unlawful taking, and criminal mischief. Mr. Carter was released on bail and briefly met with the Miami Inquirer to explain his ordeal. Here's the diet. And this is his wife's a bitch, and it's her fault. It's all her fault.
Yeah, sure.
His wife put him on a tofu, and raw vegetable diet.
Okay, I'm automatically on this guy's side.
Yeah, and as Mr. Carter says, Romeo, I couldn't take it anymore. I waited until she was asleep, and I went to the restaurant to get a couple burgers, but it was closed. I was starving and depressed, and I totally lost it. So the only thing I can think of is, like, he fucking Kool-Aid Man styled and just busted right through the wall.
He's like, somebody inside the restaurant's cleaning. Oh no! Yeah. Oh no! Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Face me to the oil.
Yeah.
But okay, he went to go pick up a few burgers. If he drank 25 gallons of oil, that means he wasn't going for a few burgers. He was going for the left side of the menu.
Oh yeah, he was going to get fucking wrecked. I mean, one way or another. But he in his defense, his wife was making him eat tofu. I mean, I like veggies, so I'm not upset there. But tofu,
the veggies don't bother me. But but the tofu, that's gross. Yeah. That's nasty. That's human cruelty right there. That's like making somebody like me go vegan.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. So, believe it or not, the charges and everything. Well, other than the fact that he's not dead, that's a miracle in itself. Let the fucking man eat whatever he wants. He just downed 25 gallons of oil.
If I owned that Burger King, I'd be like, dude, you eat here for free as long as you do that show once a year. Show us you drinking 25 gallons of oil, because that would be something I'd watch.
Exactly. But he's facing 35 years in jail.
Jesus.
For this whole incident. But however, he has already offered to pay for the damage he caused, and Burger King could possibly agree to a settlement and accept to drop the charges.
Which would be nice. If I was the Burger King,
he's going to pay for. Yeah,
I would be like, you know what? On top of that, I'll give you 12 burgers a month free.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
as long as we can put your picture up, this man drank 25 gallons of oil. Employee of the month. Let me tell you.
Yeah, employee of the month. Oh my god, it just blows my mind that he's still alive.
Yeah.
You know, and
25 gallons of anything.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing.
Like,
we were talking about this at work, and it was like I couldn't even imagine drinking a cup, an 8-ounce cup, of oil, of used oil, at that.
So I assume it would taste like French fries, but
well, you know
still,
what?
Burger King fries aren't that great.
Yeah, but still, I mean, so I mean,
and oil is stupid thick, and the more used to get, you imagine the trash in that.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean,
I worked at Wendy's, and we would change out the fry oil once a week because it would be disgusting.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, not only are they putting fries in there, they're putting chickens in there, or chicken. They're putting chicken nuggets. They're putting whatever goddamn fried food that they have on their menu.
And not to mention the employees throwing shit at it.
Yeah, or if it's a disgusting restaurant, and this comes from my side of being the Orchid Man once upon a time. If it's a disgusting restaurant and they got bugs, you got cockroaches, and God knows what else in that fucking fryer. Trust me, I've seen some deep fryers that have been bucked up by cockroaches. I mean, you look down inside of it, and there's hundreds of them in the fryer, and it's just like, y'all cook food in this every day, really?
Yeah, exactly. I know that's disgusting. That's but my thing is 25 gallons of fucking water is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no doubt that you could drink 25 gallons of water, but 25 gallons. I mean, if you remember the gallon jugs, people used to try to drink that in under an hour.
Yeah.
And they throw up.
They do
so how does this dude not throw up?
They do the milk challenge.
Yeah. How do you not vomit from that?
What snap can I view?
Uh-oh.
But I mean, since we're hanging out in Miami for a second, I got another story for you.
Okay.
Courtesy of Miami, Florida.
You gotta be a special person to live in Florida.
Yeah, you definitely have to be a special person to live in Florida. I haven't read this story. I just pulled a Jeff, and as I was reading the other one, this headline popped up as part of this World News Daily Report here. Florida, man emasculated during failed attempt to rape pit bull.
What?
Now, I'm reading this for the first time, so bear with me.
Out of all the dogs to try to rape.
This is one of your people. This is one of your people, Joe.
Shit.
A 37-year-old man suffering very serious groin injuries after being bitten by a pit bull was admitted to Ryder Trauma Center this morning. Jesus Raymond Sanchez from the Little Havana neighborhood in Miami was allegedly attempting to engage in sexual intercourse with a 4-year-old male pit bull when the dog defended itself by tearing off the man's genitalia with its teeth.
Oof.
Oh, wowza.
Oof.
That's what you get for having sex with dogs. Says the incident took place around 8:30 this morning in the Allen Morris Dog Park in Miami.
So it's not like it was like his dog. It's just like he's just walking in the park like, well, that's a pretty dog you got there.
Yeah, did he just roll up into the dog park and it was like, not yours, not yours, not yours. Hey, how you doing, big fella?
Hello.
Get over here. Says the dog was
that
just
brown
running
coat
around.
You got there.
According to there was witnesses. Yeah, there was witnesses. According to witnesses, 4-year-old Spanky was playing with his owner in the park.
Same Spanky.
Oh my god, this has to be fake. There's no way this story is real.
Come here, Spaggy.
Yeah, right. There's no way that this is real.
Holy shit.
Spanky was playing with his owner in the park when Mr. Sanchez grabbed him and attempted to rape him. The male pit bull violently resisted and severely injured the attacker's legs, arms, and groin. The dog was just running around playing with a ball. Yeah, he was.
Play with something.
Yeah. When the man came out of nowhere and tried to grab it, says Dorothy Steinberg, a witness. Okay, so
Now, how do they know that we was actually trying to rape the dog? I mean, did you have,
wait,
have his dick out or something?
Here's a witness statement right here. I can answer that question
Okay.
for you. The man had his pants down and was struggling with the dog. Everyone in the park was just stunned. Nobody did anything, but the dog defended itself and bit back. In a matter of seconds, he grabbed the man's genitals with his teeth and literally tore them apart.
Okay.
What
Now,
the world?
I guarantee you there's got to be video of this somewhere. If there's multiple witnesses, some of
they
them
all
like,
stood
"Oh,
around
I
and
gotta
did
get
nothing.
this." Oh yeah, they were like, "Fuck this! This is gonna be hilarious."
Yeah. The medical staff. Yeah. So despite why do we have to word it like this? Despite tremendous efforts, the medical staff wasn't able to save his genitals, which were almost entirely destroyed by the dog.
Oh,
Now they have a picture of Spanky, and he is an absolutely adorable all white pit bull, you know. And they got a little picture, and he's smiling.
I'm sure he is. He just had lunch.
Poor Spanky. You almost got fucking. He almost got prison raped on in the park. Yeah, like a little delivery.
How? I'd be curious to see what the attacker looked like, because he must be some hideous fucking chud. Because, you know, I'm sure in Florida there are hookers.
Yes.
At the very least.
Actually.
At the very least, you know, you got a couple $5-6, you know, you can get something taken care of. But a dog? A male dog, no less.
Yeah. And in glorious Newport Richie, where my buddy Kevin does his podcast, where he has his studio at the Dump Tower, has a large amount of hookers in that area.
There you go.
So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of opportunity. I mean, if you were really that desperate, you could. But
I mean, that guy must have had. He's like, I got to get a nut off now.
Yeah, I mean, come running out of the woods with his pants on. I was like, come here, dog.
Come here, puppy. Jesus. And a pit bull. The one breed of dog you should never fuck with.
Literally. Yeah, exactly.
That is crazy.
What the hell?
Kind of? I sounded like you were getting yelled at.
Yeah. Oh.
That is the weirdest shit I've ever heard. And I literally spend my week looking for weird shit.
I appreciate that Snapchat. Thank you. And that's why she's my pretty girl. She was informing me of her gas. Fortunately, It doesn't stink. But yeah, no, I don't know what's wrong with people in this world, man. I really don't.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel anybody that would commit rape should be shot on sight.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse for it.
Well, I don't know about
shot. To make matters worse,
they should definitely be put down, but definitely not shot. It should be slow, agonizing, painful.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you there. But a dog. I mean, I don't think I could ever even get remotely ready to take on a dog. To put it in the nicest terms for the listeners.
You know, Rick James said it best. Drugs are a powerful thing.
That would be my only thing. I mean, somebody probably laced his crack with fucking Viagra or something.
Drugs is a powerful thing, Jeffrey.
Something.
Why the fuck would I stop my feet on their couch? Yeah, I stopped my feet on their couch.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I mean, a dog and a pit bull, no less. And you're in a dog park. It's not like there was only one option.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't like
grab a chihuahua or something. They don't bite that hard.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was just at his house and his dog was like, "Oh, come here, fucker! You know what time it is.
Come here. Let me put some peanut butter out."
Yeah, this was at a dog park, like.
And I'm assuming broad daylight.
Yeah, it was 8:30 in the morning.
Well, hookers aren't out at that time of day, I guess.
I mean, I don't know much about hookers, but I'm sure they are.
I don't either.
I mean, still, it's 8:30 in the morning. You woke up that fucking horned up at 8:30 in the morning that you decided to go rape a goddamn dog.
Merry Christmas.
Or try to rape a dog.
Attempted. And that
guy is
going to get. He's going to jail, I'm sure. But when he does, he's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, he. I don't know, man. It's. People are fucked up. People are fucking stupid. So on a lighter note,
yes,
from raping dogs to blow. I know I couldn't pass that story. It literally popped up when I was reading the last one, and I was like, "Oh, this is too good not to read it."
Yeah.
So yeah, on a lighter note, from raping dogs and getting your pecker chewed off, we can go to blowing shit up.
Nice.
So you remember a few weeks back we were talking about the gender reveal party out in New Hampshire?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, people felt they had 80 pounds of tannerite. Well,
shit.
Let's just say the gentleman who was responsible for that, Mr. Anthony Spinelli of Kingston, was charged. He was charged with disorderly conduct.
That's it?
That was the only thing. That was the only thing.
That's a weekend.
It was. Yeah, so they arrested him yesterday. Of course, he doesn't know if they have a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't be found for him. But police in Kingston, a town not far from Massachusetts state line, received reports of a loud explosion on the 20th of April. And it was in a quarry where they had this.
Well, okay, so the quarry does echo.
So they.
But it's also protected.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna get hurt.
They tried to do it safe. They had permission to be there. They tried to do everything safe. But the fact that they had 80 pounds of tannerite and this shit was felt towns over. I mean, not just heard, but felt. I mean, there was videos of
80 pounds is a lot. 80 pounds of anything is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there was video.
Shit, my kid weighs 80 pounds.
Yeah, from people. Imagine if your kid was tannerite and you blew him up.
Yeah.
So he's looking at disorderly conduct, which is more than likely going to be a fine and a slap on the ass and tell him not to do it again. Yeah. But this is one of my other questions that I had for this whole thing.
Yeah.
Was if anybody was hurt.
That would be, that is true.
Because of how big the explosion.
Did you see the guy blow up the fridge with some tannerite? He shot, and then the fridge door went flying at him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that wasn't 80 pounds. That was like a little 12-ounce jar.
Yeah.
So, 80 pounds is going to send shrapnel somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so they said that there was no injuries in that. But I just see that and just wanted to do like a real quick little follow-up update on that because I know that was a story that we had talked about a couple of weeks back. So I'm surprised that that's the only thing. I'm surprised that that's the only thing that they're hitting him
charging
with
him with. Yeah, that's kind of impressive. I mean, talk about luck. Luck, nobody got hurt. Luck that he was able to get 80 pounds of this stuff, and luck that he only got charged with disorderly conduct. Shit.
Yeah.
Disorderly conduct.
Exactly.
That's
So,
impressive.
well,
I mean,
you know,
if you walk into a store and be like, "I need 80 pounds of tannerite," they're going to look at you and go, "Wait, what for?"
well, not
Even
really
this,
because
well, you can
it's
buy it over
legal.
time, I guess. Yeah, but
Yeah, well, I mean,
80 pounds?
look, the guys who blew up the fucking building in Oklahoma years ago.
Yeah, Oklahoma City bombing. Yeah, they use
Yeah,
manure though.
they bought like God know an absurd amount of fertilizer, and nobody was like, really? Why do
Yeah,
you
but
need?
fertilizer that's just like, oh, I got a farm and I'm fertilizing the fields.
Yeah, but you're not going to go into fucking Home Depot and buy 1,000 bags of fertilizer
That
when
is
you're
true.
fertilizing your fields as a farmer. I mean, you buy that in bulk, and it's usually
Did he
in
buy it at
liquid
Home
form.
Depot?
I don't know where he bought it at. He
Oh.
definitely did not buy
Well,
it.
I'm sure he bought it at a co-op or something. Because
I don't think he
even
went.
Home
I
Depot
don't
doesn't
think
carry
he
that
went.
much.
He probably went to Costco.
Talking like
just a normal.
When was Oklahoma City bombing? Like 96?
Oh fuck! I don't know.
Was Costco even a thing?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
But yeah, but still, if you're going to buy 80 pounds of an explosive,
yeah,
I mean, it's got to be reported, right?
I
mean, the same thing when you go buy a gun, you got to go through a waiting period.
I don't know. I've never bought tannerite, so I don't know how it works. I mean, I would imagine I would think that you would have to fill out some kind of form or something like that. But I mean, much like here in Ohio, you can go buy $2,000 worth of fireworks at Phantom Fireworks, and it's illegal in Ohio. But you sign a piece of paper that says that you won't set off the fireworks in the state within the state limits.
You're like,
yeah, okay. Everybody knows. Goddamn well, you're going to drive 20 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And
the fireworks are illegal here, but they sell them outside Walmart.
Yeah.
during holidays.
You're going to go buy all those fireworks and then turn around and light them off in your backyard.
I'm going to Michigan. Sure you are, buddy.
Yeah.
In your Volkswagen Beetle. Sure you are.
Yeah, exactly.
On your bicycle.
So, but
that's.
But you said you actually did some prep work this week. So
I did.
I mean, usually
I did.
Usually it's me that does all the work. But
literally, after hearing the pit bull story, mine aren't that impressive. I'm kind of like wah 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 wah. I mean, I got a story about people stealing Legos.
Yeah, I never bought it. It was stealing.
Well, it says people are stealing Legos. Here's why. The problem is, stupid thing keeps popping up. It's in France.
Why are they stealing Legos?
That's a curious question. Lego larceny may be on the rise. French police have been investigating an international ring of toy thieves with a particular affinity for the colorful interlocking blocks. That's just weird. I've only read a little bit of this. And it's not just Europe. Lego robberies have been happening in the United States as well. In the last month, a man in Oregon was arrested after local police suspected he stole $7,500 worth of Lego toy sets.
What?
In his defense, Legos are crazy expensive.
I mean, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, right?
my buddy Stan, who does the Kevin Holly show with him every once in a while, he was like, "Wait, what? A show with prep? Obviously, it's not Wednesday." Because Kevin wouldn't know what show prep was if it jumped up and
bit him on the ass.
A pit bull bit his pecker off.
There might even be a whole black market for the bricks. Lego specialist Gerber von Egen tells Scott Simon of the Weekly Edition. Well, that's very difficult to prove that there's a black market. However, there's an enormous amount of collectors out there who are missing out on certain sets right now and are willing to pay a lot of money for these sets. That's pretty much why people are stealing them.
And you know who these people are that are missing out on sets and want to pay an arm and a leg for sets? You want to know what sets these are?
Nerds.
Fucking Star Wars and Harry Potter and
Well,
all that dumb shit.
Oddly enough, on the subject of Legos, because my phone messed up, my wife and kids and I were sitting there watching TV, and we were on YouTube, and we found a video, and it's literally nobody speaks in the entire video. It's just music, and they literally built the Harry Potter Hogwarts castle out of Lego. There's a set the guy put together. It was like 15 minutes of just satisfying. Wow. We were enthralled. And I kid you not, if my wife wouldn't have been there, my kids would have watched about 4 or 5 more videos of the exact same thing, because it was amazing. Motorcycle. But
well,
I think that's true. It all comes down to people that are.
You finally tuned in there, Stan.
But yeah, that's weird.
There's a show on up here. It's like called Lego Masters or something like that,
mm-hmm.
and it's a competition show, and that's basically the whole thing on the show is you build and design these giant Lego whatever masterpieces of whatever you want to call it, and there's rounds, and every round they vote somebody out, and the person who gets voted out or whatever, they literally like blow up their Lego design.
Well, it says Lego Cafe Corner.
It's one of those shows that
Lego Cafe Corner, a set released in 2007 for about $150, can nowadays run up to $3,000 if kept in original condition. Other sets routinely fetch thousands of dollars on the online market. Some are asking for more than $3,500 for an unopened set of Lego Millennium Falcons. Star Wars nerds, especially during the lockdown period as we are in right now. And Lego sales are still extremely high. Not only the Lego company itself on the platform as well. We saw a 100% rise in sales over the past year. That's pretty much the end of the article. They don't, except for the fact people buying them. People were stealing these and then selling them online. But that's insane. Can you imagine going to jail for what are you in for? Murder. What are you in for?
Nice.
You know, I robbed a bank. What are you in for? I stole some Legos.
Yeah. Well,
we know who's getting their ass kicked tonight.
I was laughing because you can't see the Facebook comment. Stole. I stole a cafe.
Lego cafe set.
I stole a cafe Lego set from 1987. So you can't see the Facebook comments, but Stan said he's like, "Hey Glick, is your co-host Wilson?" Yeah, he said, "Is your co-host Wilson using the phone instead of a fence?"
The only other stories are gonna. Oh, here's a good one.
now him and Kevin are busting each other's balls about Kevin's lack of being able to do show prep. The guy's been doing a podcast for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. You think at this point that
he did, take his time to get something ready.
Learn how to do some kind of show prep.
Going away from the European market over to Louisiana. Bar patron bit chunk off Louisiana man's nose.
My co-host is a little special. He rides the same short bus that Kevin rides.
Oh, I don't ride the short bus. I walk behind it because I can't catch it. Because I'm a terrible reader, number one.
What the fuck?
A Louisiana man had a chunk of his nose bitten off by a
why
man.
Why the hell did...
Well, on top of that, not only did the guy bite his nose off,
Why
the
the
guy that
hell
got
did
his
he
nose
bite
bit.
dude's nose off?
Well, listen to this. A Louisiana man had a chunk of his nose bitten off by
So
a
what?
man he bought a drink for.
A pit bull.
He bought the guy a drink, and then the guy bit his nose off. He and a friend bought a drink for a man, later identified as Andrew Norman, according to Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. The drunk spilled on Nerman, the guy that actually did the biting. They spilled a drink on him. So he jumped up and bit the fucker's nose off. He grabbed my head, took a chunk out of my nose, Thayer says. Authorities says Nair ran from the bar, got into a vehicle.
So the guy bought somebody else a drink,
well, and then as they're handing him the drink, they're like, "Oh, sorry, I dropped a little bit on you." And he grabbed the guy's head and bit his nose off, then ran and got in the car and ran away. Thayer, bleeding profusely, got the attention of a nearby deputy. And that's the end of the story. That's weird. I'm assuming they caught the guy. Here's a little part of the story. The drunk spilled on Nerman.
God damn.
But Thurman told the news outlet he and his friend bought him another round. So they spilled a drink on him, a full drink.
If I were to bite off the nose of every person who's ever, the person of any person who's ever spilled a drink on me,
you'd be known as the nose killer. But they bought him another drink after they spilled his drink. He said the 32-year-old woman walked away, but came back a few months later and threatened.
If there's music, if there's dancing, people, if it's crowded, people bump into each other.
Yeah, drink spill.
Yeah, right. You cannot go around biting noses off of people.
He literally, apparently what happened is they're like, they spilled his drink, like, "Oh, buddy, I'm sorry, let me buy you another drink." And he's like, they hand him the drink, and he grabs the guy's nose and says, "You fucker!" Ah! I was like, what the fuck? And then walks out of the bar and comes back and yells at him again. Then walks out, gets in his car, and drives off. And the guy's bleeding from the nose. He goes, "Officer, that motherfucker bit my nose." That's so weird. I wish
the guy was trying to be fucking cool about it.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice about it. He's like, "Look, I'm sorry, I spilt your beer." I mean, that guy must have been having a really bad day. Hey, do you ever go to yard sales?
Yeah. Fucking son of a... Yeah, right?
Do you ever go to yard sales?
Yeah. fucking Stan
yard
says,
sale
yeah,
bowl.
Yard sale bowl. If you tease Glick with a Natty Light, he'll bite you. First of all, I don't drink Natty Light. Second of all, yeah.
That guy must have been drinking White Claw.
It's a bit holy. A bowl. Like a
okay, yard sale bowl revealed as rare Chinese artifact auctioned for $721,800.
Yep.
He purchased the bowl from a yard sale for $35. Turns out it was a rare 15th century Chinese artifact he sold at Sotheby's auction for $721,800. More than 20,000 items, 20,000 times its original asking price. That's crazy.
Yeah, I heard about that story. A while back. That you would have to be kicking yourself.
Oh
no, and the person who bought that bowl, I go to yard sales just to move shit around so that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, look, you as a nice person, I would have to go back and like, look, here's a couple grand, at least. I sold that bowl and I made a bunch of money on it. Here's like $5,000. Because 20,000 times what you originally paid for it.
Yeah, and do he, yeah. Well, the guy who bought it knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah, he knew. He was like, maybe this is worth something. But I've seen articles where people have been cleaning out their grandfather's attic and they found something that.
Stan says he goes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, they clean out grandpa's attic and they find stuff worth hundreds of $1,000s. The grandpa was like, "God."
Stan said he goes to yard sales just to move shit around.
He's like, I'm gonna put this 50-cent bowl with the $2 bowls.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
People.
Yeah, just to piss them off.
They don't really.
He
do
definitely make money
stuff.
at a yard sale. He said his sister just made. He said his sister just made $400 at a yard sale a couple days ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you followed the guy Gary V. Have you seen this guy?
I think I've heard that name.
He's one of the very first YouTubers, and his YouTube channel is all about wine. And now he's a multi-millionaire to the point where he passed on Uber twice. Like somebody came to him for some money, and he's like, "Ride sharing? What are you, stupid?" Twice, and he's not even bitter about it. Which if I had a chance to get into Uber early, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Hell yeah! Don't jump all over that shit.
Yeah, but he was like twice. He was like, "No, I'm good," and then he invested the third time or something like that. But I think he owns part of Lyft as well and stuff like that. But he goes to yard. I mean, this is a guy. He's a hustler. In the good sense, he's a hustle worker. You know, he's like, fucking up. There's money to be made. He'll go onto Facebook Marketplace where people are giving shit away, or on Craigslist where like free, just come and get it, and he'll buy like a rocking chair or something, and somebody's just get it the fuck out of here. He'll take it and he'll put it on Facebook Marketplace for $40-$50, and somebody will be like, I'll take it. And he talks about that all the time. He's like, there's always money to be made. There's no way that you should be able to be broke. And I'm like, yeah, try that in Mexico. Nobody gives anything away. They're like, we got this broken DVD player that hasn't turned on in 30 years. We want $100. Like, shit.
And somebody will buy it.
Oh yeah, some asshole will buy it for the lens or something.
Yeah, exactly. But, so you was a big Tiger King fan. I've never watched Tiger King.
Love it. They're apparently making a sequel.
Speaking of stupid, Jesus Christ! I guess we won't watch that either. It's a follow-up. I'd watch Star Wars before I watch Tiger King.
I'm sending you the DVDs now.
Well, Tiger King. I don't have it.
Uh-oh. You're glitching.
Just give your shit to the homeless people.
You're glitching.
The homeless people pay you to keep your shit.
I missed all of that. You glitched out.
But oh God, here we go.
Yeah, it's that time.
Here we go.
Now you're clear.
Maybe I can save it. Oh, Stan said that he had a yard sale. He had a yard sale a year ago and only made $50. Now he drives around and gives shit to homeless people. I said the homeless people give him money to keep his
probably
shit.
Makes more money that way.
Come on, you fucking whore. Yeah, right? Well, not only did the Tiger King was just diagnosed with cancer, so he's trying to get his pardon again. But yesterday, in Thackerville, Oklahoma, authorities seized 68 big cats from an animal park featured in Netflix's Tiger King.
Oh, no shit.
The Department of Justice announced...
I know who that is. I know which one that is. That's the guy that took over for Tiger King. He actually technically stole Tiger King's tigers. It's complicated.
Yeah, it says... it says the Department of Justice announced Thursday the seizure of the federally protected lions, tigers, lion-tiger hybrids, also known as
ligers.
The ligers, if you've ever seen.
They just look like
what
tigers.
What the fuck is Napoleon Dynamite? And a jaguar is part of a... Yeah. So this was a court-approved agreement to resolve the DOJ complaint. Wasn't
Yep.
Now I've heard a little bit about the story, but wasn't that Jeffrey Lowe guy? Wasn't he like a doctor or some shit?
No, he was like the world's greatest con artist. He literally showed up. He actually went to Tiger King, showed up in a Ferrari, and flashing all his money and stuff. Turns out the guy had like $2,000 to his name.
Oh shit!
And
so this wasn't the guy.
Convinced Tiger King, no, I think that's the guy. There's 3 or 4 different people in the documentary that have tiger reserves, or they keep tigers. The one guy, he's got a bunch of different wild animals, and he's got a stable of women that live there. They're all like no more than 25. that he basically has convinced them all, if you want to stay here, you got to sleep with me. And but I think that's the guy, and I could be wrong, but I think that's the guy that convinced Tiger King to fight the Carol Baskins lady that I'm pretty convinced that she killed her husband by feeding him to a tiger, because he had millions of dollars, and all of a sudden the dude just disappears off the face of the planet. Nobody knows where he is. Now, if you're going to get rid of a body and you got like 60 tigers in the back, what would you do? Lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy convinced Carol Baskins was going after him, trying to sue Tiger King, and this guy shows up in a Ferrari, and he's like, "Man, I'll help you out." He's like,
something.
Yeah. He comes up. He shows up in a Ferrari, and he's like, "Oh, I'll help you out. Sign the zoo over to me. That way, if she's suing you, you have nothing." And he's like, and the Tiger King's like, "Yeah, that makes sense." So he did it. Which is messed up. So but apparently the family of the husband that Carol Baskins killed, they just hired a new attorney to find out what's going on there. All those big cat people are weird. Like, they're really weird. When you, if you.
Well, I know down there in Florida that I know down there in Florida where she lives, the sheriff, I think Sheriff Chronister, actually reopened the investigation.
Well, it was never closed.
Into her husband's.
It was never closed.
So.
Well, he basically told her in the documentary. They talk about it, and in the documentary, he tells her, "I'm leaving you. I'm fucking done." And 2 days later, he's gone. No sign of him, but the will gets changed before it gets read and all this. It's really sketchy shit. Like, all the properties instantly go into her name, but he's nowhere to be found. Nobody knows where he is. And that's the most interesting thing about it is, well, Tiger King, the guy that is the Tiger King, actually did a song about how she killed her husband.
Yeah.
It looks like we reached the 2-hour mark. I'm impressed. Just as we start to glitch out.
Yeah, I'm good with never seeing that shit.
I'm telling you.
Or that documentary.
It's worth it, because you will just be like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, the last few minutes we've been having a lot of issues.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, we've been having a lot of issues the last few.
My kids are in here using the mirror to brush their teeth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I won't. Yeah, we actually have a.
Yeah, somebody said, "I love the way this show talks about stuff, things people stop talking about." It is.
We weren't talking. Well, I was bringing up an article that was done yesterday.
It was it was recent.
Guy who.
Well, I'm giving you a little backstory here. I've been dying to talk about it.
He's going to do his own podcast on fucking
just on
the
Tiger
Tiger
King.
King. Yeah,
It's so fucked up. It's like watching a train accident in slow motion.
yeah, I'm good. I had reservations. I was like, I shouldn't bring up this story because I know what it's going to turn into. It's much like if I was like, so the engine on a 1987 Chevy Camaro is a V8,
Of
but
course it
they
is.
also came in V6, and you're like, well, actually, the 1987 Camaro was a dual fuel injected uh,
There's no such thing
semi
as.
Jar Jar Binks
Listening to you
system,
talk about cars is like
and
listening to
it's
me talk
ran
about sports.
off of. And I'd be like,
You explaining
yeah,
cars is like me explaining sports.
take a nap.
Oh, listen to you talk about cars is like me explaining the
I don't know anything.
offsides rule in
And I
sports.
work at, and I currently work at a fucking work for an auto parts dealer. So it's just like,
Nice. 1-1 what?
yeah. And the funny thing about it is I work for an auto parts dealer right now, and they're like, yeah, go stock the radio. I don't know what this shit is.
That's pretty bad.
What's a fuel pump? What are you talking about? Like, no, you dummies. I'm not going to stock anything.
That's
I'm
like
just going to wander around and
being
look.
punched in the head for me. It's the weirdest concept that I don't understand people that don't understand cars. I just don't. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
But that's like, but
I know what a radiator is.
Well, of course
I know
you
what
do.
a fuel pump is. But you know what? The same thing.
You couldn't install one to save your life.
I mean, I probably could if I had to. But that's like, I have the same thing for people who don't have any understanding of sports. It's like, how do you not understand?
Which is what makes this interesting.
Just a slight understanding of sports.
I like Quidditch. That's the sport in Harry Potter.
I watched a football game and they scored 45 home runs.
Well, let's go ahead and
Jar Jar
close this out.
Binks was the best Quidditch player ever.
Let's go ahead and close this out because we're glitching. It's just going to get worse, I think.
I love Jar Jar Binks.
I'm gonna get a tattoo artist down there to tattoo Jar Jar.
No, I don't understand anything about anything. Yeah, it's fucking up real
let's
bad.
go ahead and close out since we've hit the 2-hour mark and I need to get something to eat. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Nice.
I'm gonna go drink 25 gallons of
Jar Jar Binks
deep fry oil.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate y'all. Everybody that was
here.
All you guys that were chatting away, we appreciate y'all. If you're not already, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz at Nonsensical Nonsense, and most importantly, give us a follow on Spotify. That way you can get every new episode after I've broken them down and edited them and edited them and fixed them. So until Saturday, we are out. Jeff, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you, sir. Seriously, no joke. Highlight of my week doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And I say that with my 2 kids standing next to me.
And on that note, we're out.
We're out.
Maybe we're out. I could never figure out how to close this thing. Never mind the delay. Oh yeah, definitely. I look forward to this. I don't I don't look forward to the glitch. Yeah. I don't look forward to the glitching and the bullshit that will not currently let me end this